Cowboys Nation, your boy Mike Tag here. Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're checking this out. Hopefully, you guys saw the show last night. It was a lot of fun. Had my son filling in. So, if you guys missed that, make sure you check it out. Just kind of recapped, unfortunately, the game. But we've moved past. I'm not even talking about it no more. But Uncle Cheech was on there. He's giving me some stuff about the Cowboys Dolphins, being a Dolphins fan. So I had to I lost my cool for a second when I go cheat. You got to be careful when you do that. But make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share. Appreciate all the new subscribers, the support to the channel. Having a great time with it. Unfortunately, I ain't going to be at the game Sunday night or Sunday afternoon against Miami, but sending my son down with the family, and he's going to check it out. So he's going to represent the tag crew in Miami and make sure we get this W. But we're definitely going to be breaking down that game. Kelly and I tomorrow night, usual time, we'll definitely be getting into this game. But looking at last night, how the tides have turned. All the messages, everything we get. When Dallas loses, everyone piles on, and for some reason the Eagles were piling on. And I don't know if they remember, they lost two in a row, got blown out 2 weeks in a row. And then they play Seattle. And I said it. I said this Seattle team, and I thought Gino was playing at the time, but I said, I think this Seattle team's going to beat them. Eagles always struggle against Seattle historically. It's a cross-country trip, everything kind of going with it. I don't think the Eagles are playing that well. They got some dissension in the ranks. They're changing coordinators. Or the offensive coordinator and the coach aren't seeing eye to eye. So it was set up to be exactly what we saw. And getting their hearts ripped out is probably the best part. That's that. Whenever you see a team get their hearts ripped out like that, that's always the best part. Call me bitter, call me whatever you want, but all the messages I got, you guys got what we got like to call karma, and so now it's a race. It's a race to the finish. Cowboys still got to win out, and I still believe the way the kind of the tiebreakers and all that stuff's going to go. The Eagles are going to have to stumble one more time. But I tell you, it looks like it's probably a little bit more probable than it was before. We got the Paisan in New York. Hopefully he can pull one out. Or, I mean, the Arizona team's been scrappy. They ran the ball well against the 49ers. It was a close game for a little while. Kyler Murray's there. So that could be a game to keep your eye on as a game where Philly can drop. But they're struggling. They're struggling. Jalen Hurts leading the NFL in turnovers. Not much talk about that. So it's going to be interesting. And I think for the Cowboys, just say, well, geez, we're in the playoffs. It was good. Ideally, you want to win the division, right? You want a home playoff game. You see how we are at home versus the road. There is a big difference. We got to figure that out real fast. As we talked about last night on the show, we got to get better and more consistent on the road. We got to bring that energy that we have at home. It has to go on the road. So hopefully they get this thing figured out. The good thing is Miami's another road game. So that's another opportunity for them to figure it out. And also with the run defense, you're going to play a Miami team that can run the football. You're going to play a Detroit team that can run the football. So you're going to get some opportunities to get this thing figured out. And I got faith in Quinn. I got faith in Parsons as one of the leaders in Tank, that they'll get this thing figured out. And I got faith, obviously, in Coach McCarthy, that they'll get it going. And obviously on offense with Dak Prescott. So hopefully this thing figures itself out. But it's going to be a race to the finish. I mean, we got Miami, Detroit, and Washington. So, it's two tough games. One, Washington, if they have to win that one, they should smoke Washington. Shouldn't even be a question. They want to go there. Philly's got the Giants twice, which is, to me, it's kind of odd that you put your divisional games. You hadn't even played them to the last 3 weeks of the season, and you're playing them both. Not really good for the NFL and that schedule, but maybe it works out to our advantage because Philly is reeling. Their fans are coming apart at the seams. In the locker room, Jalen Hurts has questioned the commitment of things, so now they're getting some tension. And I tell you what, we get the first seed is out of the question unless San Francisco really collapses, but that's not going to happen. So San Francisco pretty much has the first seed locked up, barring any crazy thing. So we can get that second seed. You get the second seed, you're going to get a home playoff game. And then, anything can happen. So actually you'd get 2 home playoff games. So that's not so bad. So if they do that, your boy will be at AT&T. So we need to get that because I'd love to go to the playoffs and see the Cowboys win. If they get the 5th seed, more than likely they're going to be playing Tampa Bay, which they did last year. And that, I think they'll smash Tampa Bay, but you don't want to sleep on them. I mean, they're a sneaky team, but we should definitely smoke them. So it's getting to be playoff time. I can't believe the NFL season is almost coming to an end. It's crazy, but we're going to get into a lot more stuff as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. If you guys are new to the channel, again, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit the like. As the season goes on in the off season, if you guys missed any of the stuff we did last year, did a lot of player interviews, a lot of former Cowboys, a lot of former players on rivals to the Cowboys, talking about the history of the rivalries, like with the Steelers and with the Redskins and all that kind of good stuff. And we had some great time. So we're going to do a lot of that in the off season as well as the NFL kind of winds down and not as much content as I'm going to be able to do. We'll get into the draft stuff, but I'm not a draft guru as far as analyzing all the film and these college players. I give my opinion on how the Cowboys' needs are, but we got some football go, so we're not going to worry about all that stuff now. We want to focus on this week, Miami Dolphins. We are tied. We're back to the lead in the NFC East. We got to win out. We've got to see if Philly can stumble, and I think they can, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we get this run defense figured out. And the games they lost on the road, the running, it obviously it's run defense. And the thing to me is that's why I preach so much about our running game, is because when you see that, you want to break the will of a team. It's running the football on them, knowing they're going to run it, and you can't stop it. And that's what I want to see our offense get to, because as the playoffs gets closer, running the ball is so critical. Being able to run it effectively is so critical. So I think that's something that hopefully with the Cowboys, I want to see in the next 3 weeks is our running game, which actually in the Bills game, we ran the ball well. That was probably one of the better games that we ran the football. The game got away, not running the ball much anymore, so he never really got a chance to get it really, really going and cleaning up the mistakes. The one thing I talked about in the show last night is, to me, the run defense needs to get fixed, but the most important thing to me is the penalties, self-inflicted penalties, personal fouls, not the one on Zach Martin. That was justified. But the one with Tank where he gave Allen a little bit of a push, not necessary. Josh Allen sold it. He made it look like that. He kind of grabbed his face mask like Tank hit him in the head, which he didn't. But don't want to put yourself in that position. Sam Williams, you love the aggressiveness. They went after the punt. Mike McCarthy obviously wasn't happy about it when he got the penalty. But I'm one of those, is they're punting the ball. You're going to get it back. Get some momentum. Just be careful. Don't get any penalties that can change the thing. And they get a personal foul, roughing the kicker. They get a first down and score a touchdown. So that's 2 touchdowns they got off of penalties. Then you get the one, another. It's the football we live in today. Ron Curse, the personal foul. It wasn't a dirty play. He didn't hit him in the head, hit him in the back, led with his shoulder, did everything that you want. But I guess when you leave your feet, you're going to be susceptible to that kind of thing, hitting a receiver that's called defenseless. So that led to a touchdown. So that's 21 points right there, where they were going to be punting the ball. They had the one punt, they would have, or a field goal, which would have been 3. They were going to punt, and then they were going to more than likely punt, because I think it was like 3rd and 19 or 2nd and 19. It was some crazy thing. But you end up giving them first down. So to me, the penalties, we're the most penalized team. That's an area, disciplined football. That's where we got to get better. Got to get better there. And a little bit with Terrence Steele still seems to be struggling. So we got work to do, and we got 3 weeks to get it going, and it's the playoffs that matter. So this is the time that they got to put it all together and get it going, and hopefully, go down to Miami, get a win, feel good, come back to AT&T. Your boy's going to be there. We'll be hanging with Cowboys Nation. Jimmy Johnson going in the Ring of Honor. What better night could it be to have a nice, good win against Detroit? Really feel good. And then you go into Washington, hopefully with the opportunity to clinch the division, the NFC East, unless the Eagles want to do us a big favor and lose the next 2, really make it easy for us if we win. But I don't know if that'll happen. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So, guys, I appreciate all the support. Again, if you're new, hit that like, subscribe, share. Spread the word to Cowboys Nation. We have a lot of fun on this show. We got the fantasy football show tonight with the guys. They always bring it with a lot of fun. And then Wednesday night, Kelly and I will be back at our normal time, breaking down this Miami game, get you guys ready, feeling good for a little Christmas Eve present. Cowboys going to deliver Christmas a little early, get that win in Miami, and then we'll be ready to roll for the next week. And your boy will be back at AT&T. So hopefully I'll see you guys all there. So have a great day. Just want to again trying to do better at this, dropping some quick videos, giving some thoughts, mixing it up with Cowboys Nation. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Get a little cold here in Tampa. We need to warm it up a little bit. Hopefully Cowboys will bring the heat when they come down to Miami. You guys take care. Have a good one.